This particular video we will be discussing about the introduction to agriculture. This is the master class, or we can say the super class. In this complete lecture we will discuss all important topics that are related to the agriculture. So basically, as the title of this particular class is introduction to the agriculture, so basically it comprises of agriculture and its branches, their meaning, their scope, definition, similarly the agronomy, then we'll understand about the various revolutions related to the agriculture, then important days, important persons related to agriculture, important year related to agriculture, important institute related to agriculture, and finally the seed production and also the problems of the dryland agriculture. So all this topic we will cover in this particular chapter, and our strategy is to complete all these topics in a short, crisp and very quick manner so that you can prepare 50% faster with the IXMB. Okay, so as far as NABARD syllabus is concerned, you can see this is the very first part of the NABARD syllabus, and in this particular video we'll be discussing this particular part: agriculture definition, meaning, branches; agronomy definition, meaning, branches; and then problems of dryland agriculture, seed production, seed processing, seed village methodology, and the precision farming system of crop intensification and organic farming. So more or less we will be discussing all these parts. Only the classification of field crop is left, because that is aligned with the crop and related concepts, so that will be covered in next lecture by the Sonal ma'am. Okay, so this is the very first part. Now we'll start with the introduction to the agriculture. So as you all know, agriculture, this is a very broad term which comprises of all the activities which are happening over and above the ground level. So if you will look to the etymology of this particular word, this word is originated from the two Latin word, agric plus culture. So agar means the soil and culture means cultivation. So agriculture is an art and science both in which we study all the human activities related to the use of soil. So whatever we are doing over and above the soil are come under the agriculture. Okay, so like crop production, this is one kind of activities. So if not only the crops which are only the consumed by the humans, but there are other crops which are consumed by the animals that we call as the fodder crops. Similarly, the horticulture crops are there. Allied activities are there, like we are managing the farm animals, animal husbandry, swine husbandry, poultry. Everything comes under the umbrella of agriculture and its allied part. That's why we are saying the allied part, not the independent part. Why they are allied? Because they are correlated with the agriculture. So it is not only the crop production, it is also the crop production along with the other activities. And also in the crop production, it is not only the food grains, it is also about the horticultural crops. Okay, so this we will study today. So now branches of agriculture, there are so many branches of agriculture like agronomy. So agriculture is a major subject. Now we are studying the various subheadings, or we can say the subtypes. So the agronomy is basically field to manage. So when we are interested in studying the field management, so in the agriculture we were saying it is the soil cultivation. In the agronomy we are saying it is the field management. So particularly we are managing the field, and why we are managing the field? Because we are growing crop over there. So management of the crop over the soil, or we can say the farm, it is known as the agronomy. So field management is basically related to the crop production. So all the activities related to the crop production, starting from the field preparation to till harvesting, all the intercultural operation comes under the agronomy. Then is the horticulture. Horticulture is the garden cultivation. Basically here we are interested in cultivating gardens and the ornamental plants like fruits, vegetables and flowers. Then is the animal husbandry. So it is the breeding, farming and care of farm animal. So if you will see the animal and then husbandry. Now what does husbandry mean? So husbandry basically means the care which we are providing, or basically it is a sustainable kind of care which we are providing to the farm animals. Although the purpose behind this only ours, or we can say the economic purpose behind this particular activity. Then is the entomology. So this is the insect study. This is known as the entomology. Then is the plant pathology. Plant pathology is basically, there are so many diseases, like in the human being also we are observing there are so many diseases by bacteria, viruses, funguses. Similarly there are so many diseases in plants also. So in the plant pathology we are interested in studying the diseases those are related to the plants. Then is the plant physiology. So all the physiological processes, like in human being the digestion is a process, or we can say the energy assimilation by that food is a physiological process. Similarly the physiological process are there inside the plant also, like the transportation of the food, mineral and everything, absorption, assimilation and the conversion from source to sink, conversion of solar energy to the chemical energy. All these are basically guided by the physiological processes that comes under the plant physiology. Now individually we will see the agronomy. As I discussed, it is the managing the field. Why we are managing the field? Because that is our own particular aim, that is to grow the crops. Any crop, like in the kharif season we are growing the paddy majorly. Similarly in the rabi crop we are growing the wheat majorly. So you can see for the cultivation of any crop, first we have to prepare the field. So this is the kind of budding we are doing which is required in the paddy cultivation. Then this is the seed sowing. Then interculture operation, we have to provide the irrigation, we have to provide the pesticide, insecticide, fertilizer, anything whatever required for the growth of plant. Then finally the harvesting. So all these activities comes under the agronomy. So many a time this question is being asked in the NABARD examination, like name the science, or basically the stream of agriculture which is responsible for the care and the management of the crop production along with the weed management, soil management, irrigation management, fertilizer, nutrient management, and all this. So this is basically the agronomy. So this is the very important question. Then is the horticulture. Horticulture is basically it is the garden cultivation. So pomology means fruits study. Olericulture means pot herb cultivation. Basically, it is related to the vegetable cultivation. Then floriculture is related to the flower cultivation. What you have to remember is horticulture is having three sub branches. First one is the pomology, which is related to the fruits. Then is the olericulture, which is related to the vegetables. This is little bit difficult or different, we can say. Like pomology is basically somewhat correlating with the fruits. Floriculture is very much correlating with the flowers, but olericulture is not directly correlating with the vegetables. So, but olericulture is the study of vegetables. Okay, this you have to remember because many a time this question is also asked in the examination. Then is the animal husbandry. So, careful management of the animals which we are rearing for our own purpose or economic benefit. So, their care and their sustainable management is known as the animal husbandry. So, you can see it comprises of rearing of cattle, buffalo, sheep, goat, and other animals. Like in the swine husbandry, this is related to the pigs. Poultry related to the chicken and the egg production. Then is the entomology. Entomology is related to the insect which we are studying, and these are basically causing harm to our crops. So majorly insects are damaging our crop. That's they are affecting the economical value of the crop. Similarly, many of the insects are beneficial also. Like you will see honeybee. Honeybee, they are good pollinators. They are producing the honey which is basically consumed by us. Similarly, the silkworm producing the silk. So beneficial insects are also there along with the harmful insects. Harmful insect means those insects which are causing damage to the crop. Then is the plant pathology. So pathos is basically the suffering or the ailment, and logos is the study. So here we are interested in the diseases which are caused by the microorganism. Microorganisms are basically those organisms which we cannot see by the naked eyes, like fungus growth, bacterial growth, virus growth, MLOs growth, where there are various microorganisms associated with this. Okay, so these are the diseases caused by the various microorganisms, and all these things are covered under the plant pathology. Similarly, some beneficial viruses are also there. There is an infection is generally induced by the virus in the tulip flowers to improve the quality, or we can say the introduction of variegation in that. Okay, the next branch is the genetics and the plant breeding. So basically, this is the branch, and this is a very common branch. Genetics is a basic branch, or we can say the basic laws of the plant breeding, or the condition of plant breeding are according to the genetics. So genetics is very much common for the animal as well as plants. Basically, it is the study of heredity and the causes of variation. Heredity means how the characters are transferred from one generation to another. Just take the example, we all have nose, eyes, and everything. But many a time we have heard this kind of statement: your eyes are matching with your mother or your father. So we generally say eyes color is inherited from the mother. So all those studies are under the genetics. Genetics is basically the study of heredity and the causes of variation. We are not actually we are not the direct copy, or we cannot say that we are the equally resembling with our mother or father. Somewhat we are resembling. So somewhat means there are some variations. So we are studying all those variation and this process under the genetics and plant breeding. Plant breeding means plant breeding is the manifestation of genetics laws for the plant improvement. Improvement means creation of new varieties. Then is the soil science. This is the management of soil. So basically there are two things, or we can say the two science. Pedology means the ground study and basically devoting the field of knowledge. Edaphology means again when we are studying it as a substrate, or we can say providing support to the crops. So that is edaphology. So basically you will see there are two type of classification broadly of soil. One is the normal classification based on the soil, which we are studying basically from our class 8 or class 9 in our social sciences. So that is only important for your examination of the NABARD examination. And another classification is order classification. That is the scientific classification, we can say, but you should know about the basic classification first, then you can go to the scientific classification also. So and this understanding is very much required to understand what kind of crops are growing or basically grown over the various areas, and what is the basic climate there. Like you can see this is the particular region, and the soil here is forest and mountainous soil, and this is the region of Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. So if you will see the soil here, this is the forest and mountainous soil, and what kind of crops are generally grown over there. So basically the horticulture crop, we cannot grow the field crops there. Why? Because there is slope. Hilly region is there, so slope is there, so that's why this is the issue. Then you will see this is the alluvial soil, or we can say Indo-Gangetic plain. This is the Indo-Gangetic plain, means this is the plain in the nearby region of the river Ganga. So this is the very good place, or we can say these are the soil known as the alluvial soils, and also this is these comes under the molly soils, which is having the world best soils. So alluvial soils are the good for the field crop. That's why you will see these having the good rank or the top rank or the leading rank in the crop production or in other production estimates also. Similarly, this part is the red soil, then is the black cotton soil. That's why these black soils are good for the cotton. That's why these soils are named as black cotton soil. Then coastal region soil is known as the laterite soil, and this is the arid soil part. So this is the classification, and you have to correlate this classification with the agroclimatic zones also, as well as the crop production also. So this is all about the soil science. Then these are the other branches like agriculture extension, agriculture statistics, agriculture economics, biotechnology, agriculture microbiology. So the name in itself suggesting like statistics related to the agriculture, economics related to the agriculture, microbiology related to the agriculture. So all these are the various branches. Okay. Now we'll be discussing the important years which are basically designated for the agriculture. Like you will see, 2023 is designated as the International Year of Millets by the UNO based on the recommendation of India. So that's why this year whole world is celebrating International Year of Millet, and the focus on highlighting the nutritional and ecological benefit of millets. Okay, so this is again important. Present year you should remember. Not more than that. Then the important days are days related to agriculture. If you will see, there are a lot of days are related to the agriculture, but we are focusing only few here. For the rest, you can visit the notes also. Like World Wetland Day, 2nd of February, World Pulses Day, 10th of February, International Day of Forest, 21st March. This is important. World Water Day, 22nd March. This is important. World Meteorological Day, 23rd March. World Earth Day. This is important again, 22nd April. Panchayati Raj Divas, 24th of April. International Seeds Day, 26th April, International Biodiversity Day, World Milk Day, World Environment Day. This is most important. So only few days are important, but there are so many things related to the agriculture, so you have to go through all those things. Similarly, International Fruits Day, National Fish Farmers Day, NABARD Foundation Day, 12th of July, ICR Foundation Day. ICR means Indian Council of Agriculture Research, celebrated on 16th of July, or basically we can say the ICR founded on 16th of July. World Honey Day, Ozone Day, Bamboo Day, 18th of September, International Day of Rural Women and Nutritional Women Farmers Day. World Food Day is important, 16th of February. World Fisheries Day, 21st November. National Milk Day is important because it is correlated with the Operation Flood or the White Revolution. National Agriculture Education Day, World Soil Day is on 5th of December. Again, this is important. National Farmers Day is important. So these are the few important days which are related to the agriculture. You should keep all these days in your mind. They may be asked in your examination. Now, okay. So this we have. Now we'll discuss the agronomy, its scope and its definition. So as we discussed already, that agronomy is basically it is the study of field management. So basically what we are studying here, management of field. So again, this we have already discussed that agronomy is basically a Greek word. Okay, because it is ending with the Y, so there is a trick basically to learn the word etymology. So any word ending with the Y are generally having the Greek origin. Like agriculture is not ending with the Y, so that's why that is Latin word. Then the definition is principle and practices of soil, water and the crop management. This is how the definition will be asked in your examination. It is the branch of agriculture deals with the method which provides a favorable environment to the crop for the higher productivity. Ultimately, for the agronomy, we are only looking for the higher and higher crop production. Means we are looking from the wheat crop, good outcome, or we can say the good grains that are what wheat grains. So we need to have the higher weight. So that is required from the agronomy. Okay. Now, agronomy is the synthesis of several disciplines like the soil, crop physiology, because everything is working for the crop, and in the agronomy we are basically looking for the higher yield, so everything is correlated. So we have to reduce the insect population, we have to reduce the diseases incidence, we have to have the good varieties. So we are using genetics and plant breeding. When we are saying we have to reduce the diseases, so then we are studying the plant pathology. When we are saying we have to check the insect population, then we are studying the entomology. So agronomy is a broad branch of agriculture which comprises of study of all the branches is required under the agronomy. Soil physical, chemical, biological property have to be understood thoroughly to affect the modification of soil environment. And the father of agronomy was Peter de Crescenzi. Okay, Peter de Crescenzi, the father of agronomy. Now the scope of agronomy. Why we are interested in studying the agronomy? So you know it very well. As we said, agronomy is basically management of field. So basically this is a very dynamic principle. Why dynamic? Because every time you are changing the crop with the field. So in a way, this is also a dynamic. With the advancement to the knowledge and the better understanding of the plant environment, agriculture practice and modification, new practices are developed for the high productivity. So ultimately what we are looking for the high productivity. Anyhow we have to increase the production, we have to increase the productivity. Productivity means per unit production we have to increase. So ultimately we are working for that. So basically we are using the logic, or we can say the laws, or the study of all the branches of agriculture under the agronomy. Okay. The next is the this is a very major issue. The population pressure is increasing. Intensive cropping is required, is the need of hour, and the proper time and space intensification is required, not only to increase the production but also reduce the environmental hazard. The sustainability is the key. Nowadays, you know it very well. Earlier we were producing the crops by fertilizer, by using all the chemicals. But now the sustainability is also required because already a lot of damage is already done. So we have to negate all those things. So identification of proper season of cultivation of wide range of crops. This comes under the scope of agronomy. Proper method of cultivation to maximize the yield. Then water management, different ways of to use the water, and we have to provide the water according to the demand, not the excess, not the less. So this is again related to the. Then what is the role of agronomist? So basically the agronomist is the person or the scientist who is basically studying all those things which are required for the agronomy, or we can say for the crop production. So basically not only studying the crop production ways and the types, he is also he or she also studying the various branches of agriculture which we have already discussed. So basically aims to obtain the maximum production at minimum cost, carries out research and the scientific cultivation of crop, exploit the knowledge developed by the basic and applied sciences, all the branches like entomology, pathology, genetics, biobreeding, seed science, agriculture, extension, economics, every stream. Key person working knowledge of all agriculture discipline and coordinator of different subject matter specialists. So basically you have to maintain a coordination between all the subject. Economy is concerned with the production of food and fiber to meet the needs of the growing population. This is the ultimate aim. So this is about the agronomy study. What we are studying the growth and development of crop, soil environment and its modification, seed and how we are sowing, what are the various ways to sow the particular seed. Like in the paddy, we are doing the transplanting, but we are not doing the transplanting in the wheat. So who designed this particular structure? So this is by the agronomist. Seed and sowing, mineral nutrition, how much mineral nutrition we have to provide for the proper growth and development. All this comes under the agronomy. Water management, then weed management, cropping system, which cropping system is best for this particular area, what are the various recommendation, all these things are in the cropping system. Then is the harvesting and storage, all comes under the agronomy. Now we will study the revolutions related to agriculture. So you know it very well. Earlier India was importing the food grains from America. We were dependent over the red grains of wheat, which we were importing from the America, and at that time conditions were not very much good because we were at war also. You know it very well. 1960s time, 1962 basically. Lal Bahadur Shastri ji was our then prime minister, came with the idea that we will do one time fasting. Why that fasting was required? Because we were sort of food supplies and we were totally dependent upon the America at that time. So to increase the food production and to reduce the dependability, this production of agriculture crop is very much required. But how we would have achieved all those things without any technological support, or we can say the research support. So the revolutions related to the agriculture, we can say were started from at that time, like the green revolution that was associated with the increase of production of food grains. Similarly, white revolution that was related to increase in milk production. Blue revolution related to the fish production. Brown revolution related to the food processing. Grey revolution fertilizer. Yellow revolution oil seed. Red revolution tomato. Now what is important from the examination point of view, because this is not the condition that in a single day all these revolutions are not started. Basically they are started in the different timings. So now you must be aware about which color is related to which of the particular component. Okay, the pink revolution is related to the prawn and onion. Golden is related to the fruit production. Round is related to the potato. Silver is related to the egg. Many times we got confused between these two. Black revolution is related to the biofuel and the jatropha. Rainbow is overall agriculture production. Evergreen is the sustainable agriculture. These are the various revolutions which we can say which we have felt during a long period of time. Now the beginning of era, we will understand the green revolution first. Green revolution was related to basically the increasing the food grain production. So now we can understand the condition of Indian agriculture. During the 1960s or 66, we were producing wheat 10 million ton, paddy 30 million ton, and the area was 133.2 million hectares. So if you will see, there is no change in the area, but now from 1966, from the 10 million ton, now we are producing around 112.18 million ton. So you can see the huge leap we have taken, but the increase in area is very negligible as compared to the increase in production of wheat as well as paddy. So something miraculous happened between these 4 years. So what was happened? That was the green revolution. So what the revolution is all about, how that revolution changed the fate of Indian agriculture, that we will discuss. So this is the person behind the green revolution. Dr. Norman E. Borlaug, father of green revolution all over the world, also awarded with the Nobel Peace Prize in the year 1970. So he is the person behind the green revolution. So Norman E. Borlaug, father of green revolution, he developed the high yielding varieties. What are those high yielding varieties? I will tell you later. He was the American seed scientist, also awarded with the Nobel Peace Prize. Similarly, in the India, the key person, or we can say the responsible person for the Indian green revolution is Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. Okay, Dr. M.S. Swaminathan is the or basically we can say he started or he worked for green revolution at that time, and presently he's having a MSSRF, MS Swaminathan Research Foundation at Chennai. So MS Swaminathan ji was the father of green revolution in India. Okay, MS Swaminathan, he is the father of green revolution. He is also awarded with the World Food Prize in 1987, also awarded with the Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan and Padma and the Raman Magsaysay award, also served as a DG of ICR. The important thing is World Food Prize, he got the very first World Food Prize, and World Food Prize is near about similar to the Nobel Prize, because there is no Nobel Prize in the agriculture category. So Dr. Norman E. Borlaug started World Food Prize from the 1987, and the first World Food Prize was awarded to Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. Okay, so the green revolution, now you know it very well, it is related to increase in the food grain production. So how to increase the food grain production? Before the green revolution, before the 1960s, our wheat crop and the paddy crop were 8 to 9 to 10 feet long. Can you imagine we are, five. Our height is basically 5 feet or 5 to 6 feet maximum, and but the crops were 7 to 8 or 9 to 10 feet long, and they are merely producing anything. And the problem of lodging is very huge because these are seasonal crops. So earlier we have the very tall varieties. So what the scientists did, they crossed those varieties with the dwarf varieties. Like the source of dwarfing gene was DG Eugen in the paddy. So they crossed the tall varieties with the dwarf varieties, and they make the semi-dwarf varieties. So the present varieties are the hybrid varieties of dwarf varieties and the tall varieties. So they produce the IR8, that was the semi-dwarf variety. You can see this is a tall variety, this is the dwarf variety, and they made the semi-dwarf varieties. Okay, so this was the, we can say, basic logic or basic formula behind the green revolution crops. So basically they started the green revolution research from the wheat and paddy. So for the wheat, Sonara 64 and Larma Rojo were introduced in India, but again these were directly introduced from the different climate. So based on these varieties were crossed with our local varieties, and then we created Kalyan Sona and Sonalika. So these were the varieties which were responsible for the green revolution in India. Similarly, the paddy varieties IR8, that was the cross of the P10 to DG Eugen, and the TN1 was introduced from the International Rice Research Institute, and the source of dwarfing was the DG Eugen. And by the crossing with the local varieties, we created Jaya and Padma. Okay, so these varieties were created as a result of we can say the green revolution. So basically there were not only the problem of the lodging and the tall stretcher crops, but there were other issues also. What were the other issues? The poor condition after the independence. Poor condition in every sector, we can say, not only the agriculture but our economic condition, because those are led to the decreased production of various inputs related to agriculture, frequent famines and the drought. That was a natural condition also. That natural condition was also poor. Financial institutions are not providing any help to the farmers. Low productivity of crop were there. British taxations here, and the agrarian policies were very bad. At that time, huge tax was levied to the agriculture. Lack of institutional credit for the farmers. So these were the issues related to the agriculture. Now the pillars of green revolution. So very first thing is the high yielding varieties. High yielding varieties means semi-dwarf varieties. So which replace all the tall varieties. So like primary introduction of the Larma Rojo, just I told you, and when we crossed with them with our local varieties, we created new varieties, and those are known as the secondary introduction. Those were the Kalyan Sona, Sonalika, Jaya, and Ratna. Apart from that, high efficiency inputs were provided after the green revolution, or we can say along with these varieties like chemical fertilizer, agrochemicals, irrigation, and the quality seeds. So these are the high efficiency inputs. Okay. The next is the positive impacts of the green revolution. So basically, positive impact of green revolution is ultimately increase our production, tremendous increase in the crop production, that reduce the import of food grain production and improve the food security in our country. So that's why today we are the food self-sufficient country, and we are basically exporting food to the various countries. Now the level of income of farmer increase, and that lead to the poverty alleviation, technological innovation. As a result, the revolution brought about the agriculture production scenario. Then the negative impact of green revolution is also there. Non-food grains were left out. We focus only for the paddy and the wheat. So you will see the minor millets and other pulses, oil seeds. We are lagging behind in all those things. That's why pulses, despite of producing more, we are still importing the pulses from other countries. We are not producing sufficient oil seeds for our demand. Then the regional disparities are also there, because these crops require the high inputs. So that's why the green revolution is also localized in the northern part of our country, where the rivers are there, or we can say the good soil condition and everything is good. Green revolution resulted in large scale of the pesticide, chemicals, fertilizer, and everything, which is ultimately polluting, creating the climate change, global warming, and all those issues. Okay, and also depleted the groundwater. So these are the negative impacts of ground revolution, which we have to understand nowadays. Legends of green revolutions were definitely political scenario was very robust at the time. Jawaharlal Nehru, Lal Bahadur Shastri ji, and then Indira Gandhi ji, they at their time supported agriculture community. Then C. Subramaniam, the food minister at that time, Jagjeevan Ram, the food and agriculture minister at that time, scientist community, M. S. Swaminathan, Dr. Normani Warlock, B. Shivaraman, and with the help of the Ford Foundation and the Rockefeller Foundation, the financial support was given by these two institutions or these two foundations. This is how green revolution take place. Then there was the white revolution. So white revolution associated with the sharp increase in the milk production on the country, it also known as the Operation Flood. So basically, it intended to make India self-dependent nation in the milk production, and it was started in the 1970, and the aim was to make the nationwide milk grid, and it is one of the rural development program through the cooperatives, and it is the project of NDDP, National Dairy Development Board of India, and through the cooperative approach, this was started. Amul is the very much example. Father of Operation Flood, or we can say the White Revolution, was Dr. Varghese Kurian. Then the Yellow Revolution, father of Yellow Revolution, Sam Petroda. Yellow Revolution covers basically the 9 oil seeds. So basically, we have to increase the production of oil seeds also, but somehow we are also lagging in the production of Yellow Revolution, or we can say the oil seed crops. Then was the Green Revolution, that was related to the manure and fertilizer. That was the main. Green revolution was basically the fertilizer period. Then blue revolution is related to the increase in the production of the fish. So this is how there are so many other revolutions which we have discussed already in the beginning. So major revolutions were the green revolution and then white revolution, because you may get the question related to this particular topic for your descriptive also in the mains examination. So you have to cover all this part with little bit detail also. Then there are some concepts related to the agriculture like the geoponics. Geoponics is art and science of cultivation of crop on ground is called geoponics. So whatever we are cultivating in the ground is basically geoponics. Then is the hydroponics. Hydroponics like the geoponics, whatever we are growing over the soil. Similarly, whatever we are growing over the water is hydroponics. Then is the aeroponics. Aeroponics is the practice of growing plants in air or mist. You can see this is the water, or we can say hydroponics. This is the air and the mist is provided and the plants are growing. So this is the aeroponics. Apart from that, there are various topics like the zoom cultivation, shifting cultivation, slash and burn cultivation. So basically this is the shifting, or we can say change of land area. As of now, you know it very well. Farmer field is fixed. Farmers are rotating crops over them. But earlier, or still in the some part of our country, they are changing the land. They are shifting their land. Then the subsistence farming, when we are raising crop or livestock used to maintain the farmer and their farmer's family, that is known as the sustenance purpose. Sustainable farming is basically we do not have to focus only for the present need of demand. We have to also focus for the future demand and the future production. The farming focus on the using method that maintain the soil health, soil fertility, water contamination, and the safeguard biodiversity. Everything whichever is related with the sustainability, we have to work for that. Okay, sustainability is the key as of present time. Then is the mixed farming. Mixed farming is little bit different from the mixed cropping. Mixed farming is basically where we are doing agriculture, and we are also concerned, or we are also engaged with the activities which are related to agri or basically related enterprises. So not only crop production, but when farmer is also engaged with the other enterprises that those are related with the agriculture is known as mixed farming. So you can see crop cultivation, livestock raising, fisheries on the same farmland, then it is known as farming. Okay, so basically it is for the resource utilization maximization. Then is the precision farming, as the name indicating precision. We have to work very precisely, and presently if you will say according to the conventional farming, we are using a lot of land, water, everything we are using, but production is relatively less. So based on the technology, IT intervention in the agriculture also, we have to increase the per unit productivity, multi-layer production and all those things that comes under the precision farming, or basically we can say the information or the system to identify, analyze, manage variability within the field to optimum profitability, sustainability, production of land resources. Everything is concerned in the precision farming. Okay, so basically it is the use of technology in the agriculture. Then is the one is the organic farming. Organic farming is basically the agriculture practice in which the emphasis in the use of the natural inputs. Basically in the organic farming, we are not using any of the chemicals. Okay, we have to do agriculture without any chemicals. But on the same lines, the natural farming is there, but natural farming is little bit different from the organic farming. In the organic farming, we are only using organic manures, organic things. We can use the organic inputs which we can purchase from the shop also. But in the natural farming, we will not use any chemicals, and moreover, we will make all those inputs in the farm only. Okay, there is no purchase from the outside. So natural farming is without using any fertilizer, pesticide, or any external material. We will not use any external material. Diversified farming system, optimum use of functional biodiversity. So basically on farm recycling is focused in the natural farming. Then is the conservation agriculture. It is all about the conservation of the, we can say, the sustainability. Here we have to work on the prevent losses of the arable land, which is while regenerating the degraded land as well. Terraforming is the done on the another planet or in the moon is known as the terraforming. Intensive farming, when the agriculture crop plants are cultivated, the higher level of input and higher output is expected. Similarly, the extensive farming, they use small inputs like labor, fertilizer, and capital related to the land area being farmed. So this is the extensive farming. Intensive is when intensive farming. Last time this question was asked in the NABARD examination. Then there are some epithets in agriculture like kings of cereal. Who's the king of cereal? Wheat. Queen of cereal? Maize. King of coarse cereal? Sorghum. Also known as the camel crop. King of pulses? Chickpea. Queen of pulses? Pea. King of oilseeds? Groundnut. Queen of oilseeds? Sesame. King of weeds? Congress grass. Parthenium histophorus. Okay, sterophorus. King of fruits? Mango. Queen of fruits? Mangosteen as well as lychee. Both are mentioned in the various resources. King of spices? Black pepper. Queen of spices? Cardamom. King of vegetable? Brinjal. King of flower? Rose. Queen of flower? Gladiolus. King of milk? Sunning breed of goat. Who was man meat? Soybean. King of fodder crops? Basim. Queen of fodder crop? Lucerne. Vegetable meat? Cowpea. Who was man fruit or king of arid or semi-arid region is bean. These are the epithets that are used in agriculture. Then these are the some important terms which are related to the various crops, and these are important because many a time question is asked from this particular topic. Like rice, these words are associated, or these processes are associated with the rice, like parboiling, transplanting, and budding. Similarly, in the wheat, mulligator, maize, tasseling, silking, detasseling, QPM, sorghum, sorghum में sorghum sickness cause sorghum poisoning. Tobacco में desuckering curing and the wrapping. Canola is associated with the mustard, canola mustard. Tea tipping and the curing. Many a time this question was asked in the examination. Tomato में stocking we are doing. Similarly, the cotton में topping, delinting, defuzzing, ginning. In the sugar cane, propping, wrapping, tying, threshing, harrowing, rattoing, and the earthing up. These are the various processes. Okay. Banana denabling in the propping, loose and looping. Groundnut में pegging, aflatoxin contamination, gynophore formation. Gram में nipping. Nipping is removal of the tips of the plant. Jute stripping of the retting. Removal of bark from the stem. Sunflower, heliotropism, potato, so seed plot technique of earthing up. Earthing up of potato. So these are the various terminology or various processes. Again, this is very difficult to explain each and every process, but you will understand all these processes when you will study the particular crop. But for the revision or the summary purpose, you can refer. Revolutions already we have discussed. Now we will discuss something that is relatively different from the introductory part, that is seed production. Seed production is basically related to the crop production only. Seed production crop we need to multiply before finally distributing to the farmer. So basically what we have to is required, not less than. Okay, so food grains, pulses, we can store them agriculture because irrigation facilities are there. But in that, okay, now okay, there is the intermediate seeds. So intermediate seeds are basically sold. So truthfully we have leveled every parameter there, like the germination percentage, purity, physical purity, and every parameters over there. And certifying agency will see whether the packet of seed or the seeds in the packets are following these norms or not. So anyone can release the variety, or we can say sell the seed with these parameters. So that is also known as truthfully labeled seed. Okay. Now the last topic of this particular video, or we can say the lecture, that is what dryland agriculture, problems of dryland agriculture. So you have to understand first what is dryland agriculture. So agriculture that is dependent over the rainfall for the farming or for the water requirement is known as dryland agriculture. Like in the UP there is no dryland agriculture because irrigation facilities are there. But in the MP or in the Rajasthan, farmers are totally dependent upon, or majorly we can say in the few parts of those states, the farmer were dependent over the rains for the irrigation purpose is known as dryland agriculture. So you can assume the maximum area under the agriculture in our country or in India is basically the dryland agriculture. So dryland agriculture means dependency of water for dependency of rainfall for the water requirement of the crop production is known as dryland agriculture. This is the condition, and again, in any state like the Himachal and Uttarakhand, if the rains are there, but again that is not very good because the 500 to 800 mm rainfall is there in a single day. So again that is not good for agriculture because it will not lead to the production of good crop production, because we need consistent supply over the complete crop period. Like if we are sowing the crop in the month of October like wheat, and we will harvest in the month of April, so the continuous supply of the water is required from October to April in the interval of 20 days. If we are not getting the rain in between the 20 days, then we will lose the crop. Again, if the rainfall is happening only in the October or in the April, again it is not beneficial for the crop production. So based on the annual rainfall, we have classified dryland agriculture into three parts. The very first is the dry farming. When the rainfall is in any area is less than 750, that is known as dry farming. Similarly, the dryland farming, when the rainfall is less than 750 to 1115, that is known as dryland farming. And the third category is when the rainfall is greater than or more than 1150, that area is known as rainfed farming. Again, it seems that this condition is far better than other condition, dry farming and the dryland farming. But again, understand the example of Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. Rains are there, but in only one season they are getting 2000 or 3000 mm, but that is of no use because ultimately the runoff or the landslide they are causing. So that's why that's why the rainfed farming is also classified under the dryland agriculture. Then moisture availability, the shortage is there in the dry farming condition. Here is the shortage, and is the enough moisture is there. Then crop growing season is less than 75 days because very less rainfall, or we can grow crops only in those days when the rain is there. Similarly, in the dryland farming and the rainfed farming, because we are assuming the moisture is enough, so more than 120 days. Growing region is arid. This is the arid part. Dry farming is related to the arid, and similarly the dryland is associated with the semi-arid, and humid is associated with the rainfed. Okay. Now which are the various cropping system which are followed there? The single crop and the intercropping system. Similarly, we can grow single crop or the intercropping in this. Rainfed farming, we can go for the multiple cropping as well as the intercropping. Dry spells are most common in the dry farming because already the rainfall is very less. It is less frequent. It is no occurrence in the rainfed farming, but again there may be some chances. Crop failure is more frequent, less frequent, and they are rare. Constraints are the wind erosion because the no rainfall is there, wind erosion as well as water erosion, and ultimately the water erosion in the rainfed farming. Measures required, we need the moisture conservation techniques to produce the crop basically. Similarly, the dryland farming, we need to conserve the moisture as well as the drainage for verti soils like the black cotton soils, and proper drainage is required. So this is about the classification of dryland agriculture. So dryland agriculture is basically the fate of agriculture. We can say if we have to, protect our agriculture because rainfalls are getting less day by day due to the result of climate change also. So problems associated with these areas: inadequate and uneven distribution of rainfall. First is that is not adequate. Rainfall is not adequate, and again that is not evenly distributed over the period. Okay. Then late onset and the early cessation of rains, again that is not matching with the crop growth stages. Then prolonged dry spell during the crop period, that is ultimately creating loss to the agriculture. Low moisture retention capacity, low fertility of soil. Then socioeconomic constraints are there. Farmers are generally poor because of the less facilities, less production, and less income. Technological and developmental constraints and the limited infrastructure available for the credit and agriculture input. So these are the problems of the crop specifically in the dryland areas. So these are the important topics, and if you want to study more about these particular topics, so you can refer to the individual videos and individual PDFs related to these particular topics, and you can also refer to the live classes. So this is all about the introduction to the agriculture, and apart from that we discuss the revolutions, economy, and we also discuss the seed production, and also we discuss the issues related to the dryland agriculture. Okay, so this is all about related to the important topics, or we can say the basics of agriculture. So I hope that there is some learning after this particular lecture. So definitely it will give you the benefit in